Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jonathan Mizar. You can call me John. There are three certainties in this world: death, taxes, and Apple is going to put a new iPhone out in the fall. Look, I just watched the event. I didn't write a script. I just want to give you my raw opinions. I've been shooting photography for 8 years, and just real quick, want to say what I think about the photography aspect of the new phone. And let me tell you what, this is going to be the very first iPhone that I ordered new. I've never gotten them brand new. It's always been like a couple months later, and it's always because my phone breaks. And the funny thing about that is I'm not actually that excited for it. Like, it's fine. It's just a stereotypical upgrade, and that's what Apple is known for. It's 2 or 3 bullet points that get better, and when you're upgrading from a 3 or 4 year old phone, it's that much better. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that. It's a pretty well-known fact that if you upgrade year over year with an iPhone, it's not the best choice, typically. And yes, there's the whole aspect of if you're getting like $500-$600 worth of trade-in, it's not really paying $1,000 every year. I'm not going to get into that. I just want to talk about the phones, which is cameras. That's been the big focus. Yes, they talk about processors. Yes, they talked about Apple AI, but they're putting a dedicated camera button on the phone, which is great for a lot of aspects. For one, the phone is the camera you have on you the most. It's probably some of your most intimate photos, with your loved ones. It's just the camera you have on you all the time. And having a quick way to quickly take photos, I think, will result in more genuine, candid photos from your iPhone. I'll put some of my photos up on the screen. Like, some of my favorite photos, like even on the top of my portfolio, have been taken with an iPhone. So you can't just knock an iPhone because it's a phone. That being said, I do think that Apple tries to make the iPhone seem like it's as much as a dedicated camera a little too much. And it's just because of physics. Like, yes, you can do all the computational power you want in the world. You can't beat physics. Bigger lenses, bigger sensors. It does better in a lot of situations compared to, smart stitching various photos together. And it is very impressive. But look, I'm not a salesman. I'm not trying to sell you on the new phone. I can go through some of the features. The button I already mentioned. Really cool is that it's actually coming to both models, the Pro and the not Pro model. And it's supposed to have a haptic touchback, which Apple does really good. Their trackpads haven't been mechanical for years. So I think the vibration, the feedback could be really good there. What I'm holding my breath on to see is if it will genuinely be a good interaction. Because a traditional camera has a ton of dials. Like, that's like the stereotypical camera is just a million dials. And it's because there's so many settings that you can just very quickly manipulate with a variety of your fingers, thumb, whatever. The iPhone has it on touchscreen as well as on this haptic button with sliding and touching. I don't know how much that's going to lend itself to being able to genuinely change so quickly. Because like I said, like with the dial, just snap, aperture's different. Whereas with the phone, each setting is going to have to be done through one point of access, which means that you're going to have to swipe left to change your shutter and then go right to change the ISO and the brightness and the warmth and all that stuff. I think it's a good step in the right direction. And I think maybe not this update, but it'll allow certain camera features to be much snappier and faster in the future. I think it's just a good step in the right direction. I am very excited for a dedicated camera button because the amount of times I fight that button on the home screen is like 70% of the time. So a guaranteed way into the camera is just way better. Second, 48 megapixels on the wide angle on the Pro model. That's great. I have always been a 0.5 guy. I love it. It's probably my most used camera on the iPhone. So just a little extra resolution, not bad, especially for macro when you're actually going for detail. What I'm more surprised is that they only did 12 megapixels on the telephoto. And look, they're trying to hit the same price point. And it's Apple, so you got to save some of your upgrades. We're going to see a resolution bump next year. You can't blow it all at once. You got to space it out over 5 years. But I think that they were just more focused on getting the 5x zoom with the periscope feature just into the smaller model. I think they did not care about increasing the resolution. But I do think that a resolution bump to the telephoto might have actually been more impactful than the wide angle. But I know in a year or two, we're probably going to see 45, 48, whatever the hell it is, megapixel count across the whole range. I would have also liked to see an improvement for the front camera. I'm not a huge selfie taker, but I think that camera could see some love. It's just nice for vlogging and stuff and actually being able to see yourself on the camera as far as like the feedback goes. Because that's like what I use my iPhone for the most, is just like random B-roll, vlog, or just moments that I don't have my camera with me. The third, slow-mo. Slow-mo is kind of funny. I'm going to put his YouTube channel up here, Mr. Who's the Boss. If you're watching my video and you don't know who that is, your priorities are kind of hilarious in the tech world. But he just made a point a couple months ago I thought was really funny. He's like, remember like 10 years ago when all the phone manufacturers just like really cared about slow-mo and then they just stopped and the feature's just been sitting dormant for like 10 years. It's like in the iPhone 12 or 13 or 14, 15, it's like the same slow-mo as like the iPhone 7. So I'm glad that we have finally seen an improvement on there. I'm never going to shoot log on my phone. It's just not going to happen. You know what? I'm never going to say never. I could shoot log on my phone, but it's always impressive it's there. I'm just not a video guy. I'm a photo guy. Like to talk about photos. So speaking of photos, they have the new presets, like the style presets. I don't know what the marketing term they used is, and I'm going to tell you right now, like I mean this with all the love in the world. If you don't work for Apple and you know all of their marketing jargon, like XDR Pro Display, Liquid Crystal, this and that, like just don't buy into that. I'm telling you, like the preset feature they have is really cool. And I like that they kind of had this feature softly launched a couple models ago. I think it was like the 13 or 14, which is essentially you can put bias in the camera to shoot a little bit warmer, a little bit cooler. You like higher contrast. That's great, straight out of camera. A lot of people's biggest beef, they were like, do not touch it. It was destructive. And what I mean by that is once it was shot, it was undoable. Your photo, your data was locked in with whatever presets you set. The new version of this is completely non-destructive. So if you in camera want to shoot with a really high contrast and then you go look on your laptop and you're seeing on the screen, you're like, that was a terrible, terrible decision. You can actually walk that all the way back. And I think that's great because what iPhones should really strive for is accessibility and usability by the masses. And I think that goes on the photography sense. Like if you take photography really seriously and you know what you're doing, great. If you're a grandma and you're like, I'm gonna really try and take photography seriously, like I'm gonna get the best dog photos on the block, great. I don't think you should punish grandma for not understanding how to set like her color balance in the beginning. And I applaud Apple for making that able to be stepped back. Will I ever use it? Probably not. I'm more inclined to just shoot raw and do it on my screen. I don't think it's necessarily necessary for me to set an in-camera color grading. Because like that's what they were doing. Like, oh, wear a red shirt. You can really skew everything red. I think it's really cool. And it's always better to have more tools. I'm never going to be like, oh, no more options. I've had enough options. It's great. I just don't think I'll use it. Am I forgetting anything? I don't know. I really didn't even write any bullet points. I just kind of went straight into this. And if I'm forgetting something, I don't care because I watched the whole event. This is what I walked away with. This is what I felt. I'm excited for more resolution. I'm excited to upgrade my phone. 12 to a 16, 4 years. That's not too bad. I plan on doing a full video talking about it, trying to review the camera, as a photographer, is it a good, just last resort camera to have in your pocket? Or are you just an everyday person who likes to take photos? I'm hoping I can dive into that for you. Hoping to get on release date. I'm going to try and pre-order it. That being said, I hate when I say that being said. I don't know why I don't like it. It's like that being said, if you go watch my videos, I swear to God, you'll hear me say it like 12 times. Thank you for putting up with it. Thanks for clicking on this video. I'm really excited for the new iPhone. Look, my biggest beef, I'm not trying to sound I'll put a real cap on this. I'm not trying to sound too cynical. My biggest beef, sorry, I flipped the phone, I'm getting work emails. My biggest beef is that I just wish there were more choices. I think that in the American market, people really only choose iPhone. And I'm so deeply buried into the Apple ecosystem, I'm not looking at the Pixel. I'm just being honest. And I would just for a photography standpoint to get it and compare it. But like day-to-day phone, like FaceTiming my family, like working with my coworkers and everything, I am just really ingrained. And I don't really have a choice. It's just like whatever they came out with. If they put out 12 megapixels on every camera, I probably still would have bought it. And that's not good as far as like being a professional consumer. And this is why they're getting a lawsuit for essentially controlling the market. But I am excited, to have a macro lens in my pocket, to have a higher resolution, various focal lengths. I think it'll be interesting, and I think it'll be an improvement to what I have and, what I get to take photos with while I'm on the go. And then outside of photography, the satellite feature I'm really excited for when I'm camping and hiking to be able to text without a cell service, because that's a pretty common occurrence for me. I don't know. I'm excited for the new iPhone. I'm going to buy it, but it's just because it's time to upgrade, and then it's not like oh wow, I absolutely need a new iPhone. Like my battery's shot and I don't want to pay $100 to replace it. I just want a new phone. But if you're interested in tech or cameras or photography or various things, who knows, maybe I'll start doing off-roading videos. I'll make more videos. Like, subscribe, check this out. My website, jmizar.com, I'll put a link in the bio. There's my whole photo portfolio there. Check that out if you're so inclined. If you're triple dipple. I don't think that's a saying. If you're triple inclined, I have a newsletter I put out every month. I don't spam you. I just send you what I'm working on, the videos I made, the photos I made, my creative process, all that stuff. I think it's the most genuine way to connect with me. Sign up for that. Get that once a month. I really appreciate you. If you watched this far, thank you very much. This is about as raw of a reaction as you could humanly have to the new iPhone, watching the new event. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.